In the far reaches of the Orion Passage, where starlight rippled across deep space in shades of silver and blue, a lone human soldier named Leo found himself standing on the fractured ramparts of a ruined citadel. He had not come seeking glory or reward. He had come because one message had reached the scattered human outposts along the passage, a call that spoke of danger and desperation, a message carried on encrypted waves from a world few humans had ever seen. The message had pleaded for help. That call had mentioned a single survivor trapped within a collapsing fortress. It had mentioned a princess. Leo had answered because he believed no one should face doom alone. He had arrived too late to stop the attack that shattered the citadel. Yet he arrived soon enough to see towering shapes stalking through the rubble. They were armored creatures from a cold empire that thrived on conquest. As they advanced through the smoke, Leo charged forward, driven only by instinct. He carried nothing but a plasma knife and a compact shield, both cracked from earlier battles. He fought without hesitation, weaving between the armored figures, striking where joints were weakest. The attackers were stunned by the furious speed of a single human who refused to fall. When the last attacker collapsed, Leo saw her. A young alien princess named Myra sat slumped against a broken pillar, breathing hard, her pale skin glowing faintly in the dim haze. Her species was known for something rare, a delicate inner harmony that allowed powerful forms of healing, but during trauma, that gift often shut down. Now she was fading, her pulse weak, her eyes glassy. Leo dropped to his knees beside her. She stared at him with quiet disbelief, unable to understand why a human had come so far for a stranger. He gently examined her wounds and saw that she had lost too much blood. Her kind needed a special enzyme to begin regeneration, an enzyme no attacker had allowed her to use. Leo had studied her species enough to know the rumors. Human blood carried a faint trace of the same catalyst. It was not a perfect match, yet it could trigger survival when nothing else remained. Mira whispered that he should leave. Leo ignored her. Without hesitation, he sliced a shallow line into his own arm, letting crimson spill across his hand. He pressed it to her wounds, allowing warmth to flow into her fading body. The catalyst mixed with the energy within her, sparking a faint glow across her skin. Her breath steadied. Her pulse strengthened. Her eyes widened as she felt life return where death had approached moments earlier. She asked why he would do such a thing for her. Leo simply answered that saving someone was reason enough. She stared at him silently, unable to form words, unable to comprehend a soldier who risked his own life for hers. Her people viewed humans with caution, calling them reckless and unpredictable. Yet here was proof that unpredictability could become bravery. He lifted her into his arms and carried her from the ruined citadel. Every step weakened him, but he refused to fall. He guided her to a safe ridge where a beacon could be activated. When reinforcements arrived, Mira was stable, but Leo collapsed from blood loss. He did not wake for 2 days. When he opened his eyes, he found himself inside a chamber of polished crystal walls. Strange symbols drifted across the surface like patterns of wind. A soft glow illuminated the room. He realized he was in the royal palace of Mira's world. A healer stood near him, monitoring his condition. The healer told him that he had saved the princess, and that his blood had carried far more energy than expected. Leo tried to sit up, but his limbs were heavy. Not long after he woke, 2 guards escorted him to a grand hall. The walls shimmered with threads of light woven into the very stone. A long path led to the throne at the center. There, sitting tall and composed, was Queen Laura, ruler of Mira's species. Her presence carried a sense of ancient wisdom, her posture revealing strength. Her gaze settled on Leo, as though examining a rare artifact. She spoke with calm command. She told him that her daughter was alive because of him. She told him that no outsider had ever given blood willingly to one of their kind. She asked him why he had done such a thing. Leo simply answered that he could not let someone die. The queen studied him for a long time. She said he was brave. Then she said something else. She said he would not leave. Leo felt as though the floor shifted beneath him. He asked why he was not allowed to return to his people. The queen explained that Myra's healing cycle required a long stabilization, and the catalyst that saved her could be altered if its source was too far away. She claimed that his presence was needed for her daughter's safety. She declared that for the duration of the healing cycle, he would remain an honored but confined guest. Leo understood that this was not a request. It was a command. They placed him in a spacious chamber overlooking the palace gardens. It was comfortable, filled with soft light and gentle music produced by the wind itself. Yet the door was guarded at all hours. The queen visited him often, each time asking about humans. She asked about their drive, their courage, their willingness to protect others even at cost. Leo answered politely, though frustration simmered beneath his calm expression. He respected her authority, but captivity was captivity no matter how pleasant the room. Days passed. Myra recovered swiftly. Once she could walk without assistance, she asked to see Leo. She found him seated near the window, studying the alien world outside. She thanked him again, but he avoided praise. He asked how she felt. She smiled gently and told him she felt more alive than she had since childhood. She said his blood carried something powerful, something her people did not fully understand, something that resonated with her energy. She promised that she would speak to her mother on his behalf. True to her word, Mira confronted the queen. She insisted that Leo deserved freedom. The queen refused, stating that until every trace of instability disappeared from Mira's energy core, Leo remained necessary. Mira persisted, arguing that holding him against his will would only dishonor the sacrifice he made. The queen held firm that Leo remained confined, though treated with respect. Guards escorted him to the training yards, allowing him to regain strength. He sparred with instructors who were surprised by the speed and precision of a human soldier. Word spread quickly across the palace. They whispered about the outsider who saved the princess. Some viewed him with admiration. Others viewed him with caution. Yet all of them recognized the quiet determination that defined him. One evening, the queen invited Leo to a private dinner. The room was quiet, decorated with floating spheres of light that shifted with her mood. She offered him rare dishes from her world. He accepted respectfully, but remained guarded. She told him that she had watched him closely. She told him she saw something in humans that she had not seen in many species. She said humans possessed a strange balance of instinct and conscience, an unexpected blend of heart and fight. She admired this quality deeply. Leo asked again to return home. The queen paused for a long time. She said she could not release him because she feared for her daughter. She said Mira had formed a bond with him, a rare connection that might falter if he left too soon. She said that if this bond destabilized, Mira could be harmed. The queen did not wish to risk losing her daughter after coming so close to tragedy. Leo clenched his fists beneath the table, but kept his voice calm. He said he respected her fear. He said he understood a mother's wish to protect her child. But he also said that keeping someone against their will was not a path of honor. The queen did not reply. Weeks turned into cycles. Myra visited Leo often. They talked for hours about their worlds. She asked him about human families, human history, human courage. He asked her about her people's traditions, their connection to energy, their view of harmony. A quiet friendship formed, built on shared respect. She felt drawn to his strength, his sincerity, his unwavering resolve. He admired her wisdom and gentle spirit. The bond between them grew, though neither spoke of it directly. One day, Mira discovered something troubling. Her energy readings, which the Queen had claimed were unstable, had actually stabilized weeks earlier. The Queen had concealed the truth. Leo's presence was no longer necessary for her survival. The Queen did not want him freed. Mira confronted her mother again, her voice filled with hurt. She demanded an explanation. The Queen finally confessed. She said that after seeing Leo's courage, she believed he was someone who could strengthen their empire. She believed his presence could shape the future of their people. She believed he could become a symbol, perhaps even a guardian, someone who stood beside the throne rather than wandering the galaxy. Mira refused to accept this. She argued that forcing him would only break the very strength the Queen admired. The Queen did not relent. Mira rushed to Leo's chamber. She told him everything. He listened without anger, only quiet understanding. He said he had sensed this truth for some time. He said he respected the Queen's desire for strength, but that captivity could never build trust. Mira looked at him with deep sadness. She asked if he would leave if given the chance. He answered yes. He said he must return to his people, for they too needed him. She nodded slowly, though her heart ached. That night, Mira confronted her mother with final determination. She said that if Leo was not freed, she would leave the palace with him. She said she would not be used as a reason to imprison someone who had saved her life. She said that trust must be earned, not forced. The Queen stared at her daughter and saw the resolve within her. She realized that holding Leo meant losing the trust of the one person she loved most. With a heavy heart, the Queen summoned Leo the next morning. She stood tall, but her voice carried sorrow. She told him he was free to leave. She apologized for keeping him. She explained that fear had guided her decisions. Leo bowed respectfully. He said he understood. He said that fear often drove even the strongest leaders to make difficult choices. He said he held no resentment. Mira accompanied him to the landing dock. A transport ship awaited him. The sky shimmered with rising light. She stood in silence beside him, unsure of what words remained. Leo thanked her for her friendship. She thanked him for her life. She asked if their paths might cross again. He said the galaxy was vast, but not endless. She smiled softly. When the ship lifted, Mira watched it rise like a silver spark toward the stars. She felt a quiet ache, but also pride. Leo had shown her world that humans were far more than rulers. He had shown her mother that courage could be gentle and strength could be selfless. He had given a piece of himself to save her life. And he left without bitterness, carrying only truth and honor. Leo returned to human territory. But his journey did not end. Stories spread across the stars of the human who saved a princess with his own blood, of the Queen who had tried to keep him, and of the man who walked away with dignity. Other species heard these stories and wondered at the nature of humanity, at the strange mix of fire and compassion that defined them. And somewhere in the Orion Passage, a princess stood at her palace window each night, looking toward the distant stars, remembering the human who saved her, not because she was royalty, but because she was someone who needed help. That memory shaped her, strengthened her, and guided her as she prepared one day to lead her people. And she carried with her the hope that the galaxy would see humans not as reckless wanderers, but as allies whose courage could change even the darkest fate. She carried with her the hope that their paths would cross again.